Hello and welcome to HyzerCast episode 20. We're at
Woohoo!
20 episodes and we are super excited, super thankful to all of you who have stuck with us, watchers and viewers alike. And we have a special episode for everybody. We've gotten lots of questions and all the different comments down on the YouTube and all the different audio platforms. So we compiled some of them and we're going to answer some of your questions. We probably answered them down in the comments, but we're going to air them out live and get our thoughts from all of us for you guys. So we'll get right into it. I'm Dave here, as always, with Joanna and Lou. How are you two doing? You playing disc golf this weekend? I know, Lou, you saw your thumb injury you're probably working through. So you do any non-disc golf playing, but disc golf related things?
Yeah. So hello to all our viewers and listeners. And yeah, got a little disc golf in, just trying to see where the thumb's at. It's a little numb still, so grip is definitely an issue. I did say I wasn't going to play, but I played anyway because that's disc golf, I guess. But yeah, so just some golf and some hanging out, ready for some podcast. Episode 20. This is 20 straight episodes. I'm so proud of us. And, you know, it's a shame that Joanna is leaving this season.
What?
I'm kidding.
Lou's a big liar. I am not going anywhere. Thank you very much. You're stuck with me.
Yeah.
So, Joanna,
yeah.
did you play any disc golf? Any rounds this weekend? What'd you do?
Honestly, no. I took the weekend off and hung out by a pool, did some grilling, relaxed, and it was really nice. I think I've been playing a lot, and I think putting a lot of pressure on myself. It's just what I do. Like, there's no external pressure by any means. And yeah, it was nice to kind of unplug for a little bit and ready to get back out to play. So I think it's
That's
nice
awesome.
to get some perspective.
Yeah,
so.
sometimes you just need a little break to get back in there, right?
No golf for me, but I have golf plans this coming weekend. Just casual playing, so don't worry. I'm not going anywhere. Okay, Lou?
Oh, okay. All right.
So we're going to
Maybe
get right
next
into your questions. As a reminder, we're giving away this disc at 500 subscribers. We haven't showed you the front yet, but if we get a couple subscribers during the episode, maybe I'll flip it around and show you the stamp at the end of the episode. So stick around. But we're going to get into the questions. So I'm going to shout out who asked them first and maybe last initial. Some of your YouTube names don't really make name sense, but I'm going to say them anyway. This first one is from Pete.
I'm afraid. Pete, I'm afraid.
All right, Pete. Thank you, Pete.
So Pete has an issue that he's dealing with throwing certain discs. He says, what happens when you've only played 6 months and you're turning over Corvettes and ballistas on low ceiling shots? Is it nose angle or is it power? So if everybody doesn't know,
simple.
Corvettes and ballistas are pretty high speed discs. Most people can't turn those over, especially low ceiling shots. So what do you guys think Pete's issue might be?
Pete's issue here is going to be advertisement. So when you're a beginner, the straight flight is a hard thing to master. What we tend to do is we start off throwing things that just hyzer out, and then we flex them to try to make them go straighter. So advertisement gets us when we want to get new plastic. Hey, what's good? We're going to be susceptible to these big distance drivers, and it's going to take us really wrenching over on them to get them to move. And unfortunately, you're going to turn a lot of stuff and pull a lot of stuff down into the ground, and they're not really going to fly well at all. So I would say speed down, focus on the straight flight, and that should solve your problem.
So you think what he's doing is... Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say, I think what he suffers from is putting a lot of off-axis torque on the disc. And the reason it's turning over is because he's generating power by a yank that is not consistent in the body angle. So I think it's ripping over and there's never a chance for it to actually have the real flight because of the way it's coming out of the hand. So, I mean, like Lou said, power down, try and get it in. I mean, if you focus on trying to throw hyzers with your body angle, you will suddenly not be flipping anything over, because right now, if you're flipping all these discs over, it's coming out higher and you're manipulating with your body instead of actually having the disc do the work.
Gotcha.
So off-axis torque, I think. That's
Too
my
fast of a
answer.
disc. Go a little slower. Stop turning them over on purpose is the short answer, I think.
Well, I think because since he's a new player, he doesn't
Right.
realize that that's probably what's going on.
Right.
Because, like, it's so easy to do. You're like, oh my god, yes, yes, yes. And because you're throwing higher and more stable, higher speed and possibly more stable discs, you're getting longer flight, and you're thinking, oh my
Right.
god, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. But in reality, it's kind of working against him.
Right. You're not really going to progress in your skill level doing it that way. All right. So hopefully that answers your question, Pete. We're going to go over to a second one. This one is in reference to when we talked about a one disc round, what disc we would use.
Mhm.
Guitar J asked, which
Sorry.
FPO player do you think would win a one disc round? I assume he's talking about of pro touring players.
Okay, this episode, I need to do a little tangent. My friend who watches this show was like, he called me and was like, Joanna, what are you talking about? You know you would not throw those discs that you said you would throw. He was like,
Someone called you out. They
he
called
was
you
like,
out.
you obviously would throw your sidewinder because you can putt with a freaking sidewinder. Like, what is wrong with you thinking about what you want to putt with? He's like, why would you throw this disc when you're going to end up 100 feet short? Why don't you throw a disc that you know you're going to park the basket every time you tap it in? I thought, you know what? I'm so dumb. You're right. Like, why didn't I immediately say that? Anyway, that was not what you were talking about, but I just thought it was funny that you brought up that episode because my friend Chris just called me out.
That's cool.
FPO player?
Yeah. One disc FPO player. I'll even add, they just said who would win. What disc do you think they'd use? Tough one.
I kind of want to. I wish I knew Katrina's bag more than I do. I really don't know what she's throwing. I don't know why my gut said Missy,
I was
Okay.
thinking
but it's probably Paige.
Yeah, I was gonna say Missy, but then I was gonna think Paige as well. And it's just I think it's a hard question because I don't know what they would use. I'm just trying to think of somebody who throws one disc like quite often, for example. And I'm trying to think in FPO. I don't know why it doesn't stick out to me more.
Okay, you know
NPO's
what?
jumping out to me a bunch. Like who's predominant? Like if you thought Ricky, you would think a disc, But man, it's honestly killing me. I can't label.
Paige
Maybe
Pierce would throw the
Kristen.
passion.
Maybe Kristen with
I
her
thought the
grace, her
passion.
royal grace. They always say it on coverage, right?
Yeah.
But I will say, I think Valerie Manahano has gotten really, really dialed with her hyzer flips right now, and I think it's kind of deadly. And I think where she maybe lacks potentially in distance, she really makes up for the shot shaping, and it's proven really successful this season for her. But I'm still not answering the question. Now I'm like honestly thinking through people's games.
I'm so stumped. I wanted to say Katrina too, but she just switched her bag.
Yeah, I don't really know what she's throwing.
I don't feel like up on my coverage right now to be like, this is what she's winning with.
And just
But
to
she
be clear,
is
there's
so-
probably no right answer. So
She's so dialed. I remember last season, I don't even remember who put this out. Like, one of the media companies, this like distance challenge with FPO women. And it's like, okay,
yeah.
250 feet, 300 feet. And honestly, she was like right on it. Her distance is so dialed in her body
like the
that
precision distance challenge, right?
yeah, like for all different distances, like she was always in the closest margin. And that just really impressed me. It like really made me think differently about her because she really is such an expert thrower of the disc. Like truly, I really think she is. So what disc? I don't know.
Well, that was just an add-on. So if we don't
Okay.
answer it, Guitar J will
Mm.
still be happy. We just
I think
shouted out
we
some FPO players.
I think we owe Guitar J like a whole maybe segment. I think this is like kind of crushing me because I feel stumped, and it has to do with just knowledge of FPO bags. And I'm like, wow, I guess I don't know the FPO bags that well. But
Well, how
Also,
about
maybe
this?
like
I'll
own
take-
with a putter. I mean, you put her at 100 feet.
yeah.
Hello, she's like
See, I was thinking Paige with like the fierce because she can throw putters well over 300, And if you want to still make your jump putts, if you still want to make your putts inside the circle, I'm wondering what the
Yeah.
top level player would want. Would they want a mid? Would they want a putter? Would they say just let it go and just do driver?
Good question. So
And
maybe I'll take a note that we'll come back to this. Maybe do, like you
what
said, a whole
are
segment.
what are FPO players
Yeah.
using in different
Yeah.
brands? Like, what is the go-to in FPO?
Yeah,
That's
there's got to be something that
I'm
stands out. We
intrigued.
got to do a research. Is
Thank you, Jay.
Guitar J
Yeah.
for letting us know.
Because,
that we
like,
have to
I
do
mean,
that.
you guys know I watch a lot of coverage, and I feel like I'm thinking through everyone's games, and I can, like, think of their shots, but I mean, what they necessarily use, or what one disc they would pick for a whole round, I don't know.
All right, tough question. But William has another question.
No, he didn't.
Let's go.
So this was in reference to when we're talking about, I think it was talking about some of the MPO players like Nico LaCastro and others taking too much time before the throws, before putting. So his question was a little bit adjacent to that, is why is 30 seconds the time limit, other than it's in the PDGA rules? Do we know, or do we want to discuss why the 30 seconds is what was chosen, or was it just arbitrary and it's in the rules, so that's what we have to go with at this point?
I'm going to just say I don't know, but I'm going to go lean with arbitrary. And do I think 30 seconds is enough time? No. But do I think a minute is too much time? Yes. Do you call it 45 seconds? I don't know. But I think that it should be almost enough time. I think there's moments where your lie can be very straightforward, and 30 seconds is way more than enough time. And then there's other moments where you have to clear debris to make your lie safe to even play it. That's the rules of the game. And that chews up time. I mean,
Yeah.
so we had talked about the rule of calling people on time and how to approach players. We had heard suggestions, and this has been brought up in the past too, that we should have timeouts from this. We should have timeouts from our 30 seconds. Something abnormal's happening. I can have 4 or 5 of them in a round where it's just like I need an extension of 30 seconds. And at that point, I think we would get away from all these overages of times, these courtesy violations. Then at that point, but yeah, I mean, 30 seconds is totally probably just some arbitrary number where keep the pace going. Let's put it to the course. Don't stand around.
Yeah, that would have been my guess. Joanna, did you have any different thoughts about where that idea came from, the 30 seconds?
No, I honestly have no idea, and this is a tangent. Sorry, but I'm going to say it anyway.
That's
So
right.
I was at work, and my boss was talking to me about chess, and he was watching this like live chess coverage as he was working. You know how like we all put on something in the background, and I did not know this, but this is like in the first round or whatever, in the first 40 moves, you can take up to 40 minutes for a move, like to think through a move, and then it can go up to an hour or more than an hour per each move. And I sat there and I thought, oh my gosh, could you imagine thinking through one move for 40 minutes or an hour and a half before you even move one piece? And then it got me thinking like, wow, 30 seconds, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's speed of play, but I mean, like when a chess match is like 15 hours long, I guess, or more, like, I don't know. I guess that's fine. But I think 30 seconds is a reasonable amount of time. And when you think about it over a whole round, like Lou said, one move's not going to always take 30 seconds. It's going to be pretty mindless, if you will, and you just kind of get up and throw. You know exactly what you're going to do. And I think if, you do go over 30 every now and then, it's like not so bad because your speed of play has been fine. But I do love that idea of like tapping out or asking like, hey, this is an instance where I need more time. And like, I get so many around or whatever. But
Right.
that could be a good addition to really, monitor speed of play for everyone over a whole round. I think it's great.
So that is the answer. We don't know, but that's our thoughts. So next question.
I feel like we're not answering questions. We're just talking about.
Hey, they're just asking us. We don't necessarily have to know the answer.
That's true. That's true.
This one is. Sorry, go ahead, Lou.
I was just gonna say I have all these oddities written down here. Like I'm gonna go look up the the start to the 30-second rule, you know?
All right, so this is the
Yeah.
question show.
It's
The
pretty
next
good.
episode is going to be the answer show.
The answer show.
So this question is from a YouTuber who doesn't have a name. It's from B Rad G 916.
Brad
That's-
G.
That's me.
All letters, no actual words or names. But he would like to address the 800-pound gorilla in the room. When is Nike going to start making discs? I'm sure they have both lovers and haters, but would it be good or bad for the game? So, big question. I also paraphrased a little bit because I wanted to say 800-pound gorilla in the room. He didn't quite say that, but anyway. Oh,
Well,
you
since
have your
Lou is
Nike
already
shirt on.
like
Didn't even notice that.
sponsored over there, jeez.
Did you just call me fat? 800 pounds of fat Nike? No, I'm kidding.
Almost.
Oh my gosh.
Joanna, you answer this first, please.
Listen, when are they getting in the game? Bring it on. I mean, why not? I think it could be so interesting, and I think they'd have a lot. Well, I don't know. Would they have a lot of disc science to catch up on? Maybe, maybe not. I mean,
I
it's
bet
kind
if
of
they
hard.
started at ground zero, they'd catch up pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think it would be really interesting, and I think would give a lot of viewership to the sport, just because, I mean, sports in general, manufacturers coming into this still like very niche sport. I mean, like, we think everyone knows about it because we talk about it all the time, but we're just in our own little bubble here,
Right.
you know. But in reality, disc golf's not many people know about disc golf, or as many as we think know.
Yeah.
So to have a company like that buy in, I don't even care what they make or what they do. I think that because you know, they could do anything. It's like a starting point. But man, if they got into making discs, I'm curious. I'm interested to see where that would go.
I would love to see what technology they would bring with, you know, all their networking and past business, you know, experience. All their whole Nike was grown off of just experimenting with running shoes, right? We all seen that movie with like Prefontaine and stuff. So I think the cool thing, if Nike were to just like jump in, start manufacturing plastic baskets, anything, I think it'd be really cool because the whole sports apparel is there already. They already are representing every track sport there is, sports on bicycles, they're, you know, skateboarding, everything. And I couldn't see why not. I think they just have to see the value in it. And
Yeah.
how will they get? I think they'd get really caught up really quick. I think they would probably bring on people. Nike would use their money to make money, and I think it'd be another brand. Would they climb to the top right off the bat? I don't know, but I think I would stick with my brands for now. I think Nike's cool and all, but I don't have to. I'm not like a Nike diehard, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the worry might be that there's such a big brand that if they saw the value in investing in disc golf, they're at such a scale that they could just completely take over the entire sport. They could
They
make
could.
1,000 times more discs than every other company combined, make every single basket, every shirt that's on every player, sponsor every single player. They could do that if they wanted to, and then it's now Nike golf, not disc golf. And
I
then
want
maybe
to see
that's
them
just the
sponsor
worry.
an event.
Right. You'd rather see it start small, but I think that's the worry. Is it just too big, too quick type?
Is that just like the whole music scene, just like being assigned to a record label versus underground music? I think the sport is mainstream. So these businesses that decide to pop up and start manufacturing plastic, these are people who are passionate about the sport and want to pursue that. Nike would, you know, maybe there's someone in the higher ups who are just really passionate about disc golf all of a sudden. They want that for the brand. Who knows? But I don't think it would completely monopolize disc golf, and they definitely would bring a lot of people to the sport by their brand. So I don't know what the first steps are. How do you get them on board? Is it top pros going to them? Is it them just catching wind and they go towards those top players? Like, how did the Adidas deal shake out for Paul Macbeth and several other players?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd be curious if they would come in and like buy a company. Like that's how they would start or partner
Mm,
with someone to
they just
elevate
buy
their
Innova.
manufacturing and distributing. Yeah, I was thinking like, Innova is a great example about how this off season we were kind of all like crapping on Innova for better words of like losing all their pros. Like, where are all their top pros going? Like, oh my gosh, what the heck is happening? Like, everyone's leaving. But let's be honest, like, they're still the oldest and have like the most discs in the game. I mean, their output over years has been unparalleled.
Right.
And I think a company like Nike, I think, really could recognize that and say, like, huh, what an interesting partner. And they are in major change already. So the thought of, how do we elevate this even more could be an interesting thought for them too. Potentially. I don't know.
Right.
I don't work for Nike.
Right.
I don't
Well,
know, but
I don't know
I
about
think it would
Nike
be.
specifically, but I think that there are brands that are not associated with disc golf that eventually will, without a doubt.
Well, for sure. Yeah, it's growing more and more quickly every year. So there's no doubt that more bigger sponsors are going to get into the game shortly. We've already
Just a
seen a
matter of
couple,
time.
right? We've already seen a couple on the Pro Tour, like Johnsonville and some of those other bigger companies, not even sports related necessarily.
Yeah, yeah.
So let's go to another question. This is from Mike A, longtime listener. Thank you very
Yeah.
much,
All right,
Mike
Mike
A.
A.
Also local to where we're from, I believe. So shout out to Mike. He was
Mike, hit us
wondering.
up. We should play around.
I got a good vibe on who Mike A is.
We should do HyzerCast on the
I'm
road.
gonna, I'm gonna be able to tell maybe by the question. We'll
Okay.
see.
Mike says, I was wondering if you use different discs for forehand and backhand. I have only one disc in my bag that I can throw both ways. The rest are specific for forehand or backhand.
Oh, Mike, I am
Yeah.
not your girl for this question.
Yeah, this is probably a Lou question.
I'm gonna break it
I
down.
don't really have forehands.
I'm gonna break it
Mine
down.
happened.
Yeah, we
Sorry,
remember.
I figured it out.
you just freaked again. No, that's good. Listen, Joanna's been working at her game since I've known her, and every time I see her, she's like, "Lou, you got to see this." No, we're happy for you that you have a forehand.
Okay, I'm sorry, but answer Mike's question.
Okay. Listen, last time I talked bad about anybody's skills or game, I ended up with like this on my thumb. So I'm just making sure we're cool, Joanna. That's all.
Oh, we're cool. We're cool.
Okay.
Don't fret.
So Mike, I'm gonna go with some of my game that I'm working on adding more discs to my forehand game from my bag. So my bag has been built with its predominant backhand rollers. There was usually one or two molds, and they were around the fairway driver speed, we'll say, for forehands. I'm trying to work in so many more discs that are straighter, that turn over, that are putters, that are mid-range. And it's a lot of work. It's a lot of hard work and dedication. It's not going to come easy because every disc is just that much different to me in my forehand game because it's not my predominant throw. So each mold and each different speed of disc is going to be something that I'm going to have to familiarize myself with if I'm going to need it out on the course. So I'm slowly taking a mid a week and another driver, and I'm trying to figure out, does this disc work for me both forehand and backhand?
I guess Lou.
Sometimes the answer is going to be yes. Other times it's going to be no.
I guess, Lou, to the nitty gritty of his question, when you're looking to work more discs into your forehand repertoire, are you looking at discs that are already in your bag?
I think that's the easiest to do. I mean, why not? You have the discs already. So definitely working within your bag first, trying those all out, seeing if you're doing everything you can to get a flight out of them that you're desiring that seems equal, to your, backhand or whatever. So use everything in your bag, see what it does with all your shots is a good place to start.
When looking, do you think about plastic more than maybe speed of disc? Or if you're going to, stray away from one disc, do you try and stay in the same plastic to help feel? Is there something with that there or no?
I think maybe just knowing the runs of plastic and stability. To me, I don't know why, but if you put something solid premium plastic versus a clear premium plastic, and I close my eyes, I wouldn't be able to tell you the difference. I really wouldn't. And I'm just going to say that it has to go by feel first. It has to feel good in the hand. So
Mhm.
whatever your preference is, just make sure that it feels comfortable in the hand with grip, the shape, and from there, you know, hopefully you have a decent plastic blend in your hand and it doesn't matter. But yeah, it's just got to be comfortable.
Right on.
Family Feud. Good answer. Good answer.
Yep.
So a couple more quick ones. Daryl Medley asks, how is tee to pin distance measured on holes that go around corners? So Lou, course designer, this may be another one for you, but maybe Joanna, you have some thoughts as well.
Go ahead, Louie.
I have a couple dog leg, that a couple dog legs in some courses that were designed, and I just walk the middle of the fairway with a wheel, and I walk it there and I walk it back. Sometimes it's off by a foot or two, and sometimes 3, and I'll just average them out. Not really a big deal. So if you show up to a course where you have to throw 400 feet that way and then another 200 and around the corner, but yet the sign says it's like 50 feet because it's a giant U-turn, I think they're just being silly. So I would trust that most designers are going to put you down the middle of the fairway to the break point and then keep counting the distance from there.
So that brings up a question from me, similar. This is from David Oster. Why are T sign distances always seem to be so inconsistent from U-disc distances or distances posted in caddy books for tournaments? Like, why don't these numbers ever match up?
It's a lot of moving parts. So, for example, the slightest little thing can happen where you could just move the basket by 3 feet. You may have marked it with a flag. The tee pad could be a little off too. And then there's just different tools of measuring. So I don't know. There's definitely, if you're going from like a rangefinder to walking it off, there's going to be drastic difference. If you're going to use a measuring wheel or like a 100-yard tape, that it's just there's a bunch of methods. But yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why you do go to a course and you'll see, hey, it says 280, and then you break out your rangefinder and it's 242.
Yeah.
So I don't know why that happens. It's a shame that it happens. We've had some distances at our courses pointed out, and we went back and checked. I mean, we could just scratch our heads and try to change the sign. It's unfortunate when it happens, but I don't think there's a real good fix for this. Too many moving parts.
Yeah, I guess that's just it. It seems like obviously you can accept just a couple feet here and there, but like you said, it's always like 40 to 50 feet off.
Yeah.
That's a drastic difference. It really is.
Do you know what can happen sometimes too? And I totally forgot about this. There may be intent for future design, and the hole might start off with looks like a shorter pin position at first, and then they never get to that alternate layout. So now you have this, once again, this mismarked T sign that shows a distance that's not accurate.
That could definitely be it. Yeah. All right. So thank you for that. And thank you to Daryl Medley for that question. Last one for this episode. This one is in reference to Lou's Basement Disc Golf Simulator.
Oh boy. Who knows about that?
Well, we
talked about it.
Yeah, on one of the
okay.
episodes.
That's right. Okay.
This is from Chris Flores.
I keep nothing private anymore.
All he asks is, are there any pictures of this? Video, pictures,
Chris, there are
drawings,
pictures.
Cave
well,
scratches.
You said nothing's private anymore, so put them up, man. Put them up. We gotta see.
I'm trying to think. I do have several pictures, none of which actually probably looked like it did right before I turned it into a music studio. And that was at its best. There was fake trees. If I did this already on the show, I forgot, but there was fake trees. You had great image on the wall. You felt like you were throwing over a lake, and it was a great training facility for throwing all through the winter, putting all through the winter. And there are pictures, Chris. I will find you some pictures and send them your way.
All right,
Thanks for
maybe
watching.
maybe we can post them on our HyzerCast Instagram, perhaps, if we get permission from the photographer, Lou.
Let's see what I can find here. Okay.
Ooh.
I'll find something.
All right, thanks for the questions, guys. We have tons more. If you like this type of episode, let us know. We could also just do like maybe one or two in between topics on a regular episode. We have, like I said, a lot more questions that we could get to. We try to
Oh,
get to your
yeah.
questions in the comments, but then of course bringing them to everybody else. I'm sure everybody else has the same questions sometimes. So like I said, let us know down in the comments on this video what you like about answering us comments on other videos. A little confusing, but more importantly, we're going to
Hey, wait.
reveal the front of the disc behind
Oh.
me
Yeah.
for our 500 subscribers.
Wait, Dave. Wait, Dave. Before we go,
Yes.
can we each go around and say our favorite moment so far in HyzerCast land?
Sure.
Because
already
it's
know
20.
I already know mine. Would you like to go first, or would you like to go last?
No, I don't want to go first. I don't know one. I brought it up and I didn't know what I wanted to say.
Our own personal doing, or just something that happened the moment we loved?
I think the moment we loved.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll start. My favorite one is Lou naming every sport that's ever been invented that started with the letter B. I think that might have been episode one or two, but that was my favorite part.
Billiards, boxing, baseball.
Bowling.
Bocce
Bowling.
ball, Botox.
And I got to give it to you.
boomerang.
You were making a great point about all of other sports that people do. You have the same shoulder forward, you do the same thing. So when you get to disc golf, either the forehand makes sense or it doesn't. You go to the backhand. It's a good point. It was just a great moment.
Yeah. Glad to be part of that.
Oh my gosh. I think I have to say mine, unfortunately, for the listeners and viewers, you guys never got to see any of this, but I think our bloopers for me were probably
Oh,
my favorite part. And also in the fact that when we would prep or get together for these episodes, honestly, we could have had the recorder on and had like another episode in just our rantings and ravings and thinking about what we wanted to say, or our pre-discussion. And I think when we have those moments, I really think to myself, like, yeah, we've got something cool here. These are good folks, and I'm glad we're on this journey.
Yeah.
I agree. Maybe once we get enough of them, I'll put together a blooper reel. I'll post that as a bonus episode or
That would
something
be
like
great. Yeah, for sure. Something for the Patreon, or something.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, so this has absolutely been great. Yeah, Joanna, it's fun. Just, you don't know what's going to be said, especially when we don't think we're recording the episode, and the laughs we have. Geez, we probably spend more
Yes.
time not recording. But I will say, yeah, we talk a lot about what we're going to bring up during the show and what we're going to, share. But something that just like was killer funny to me, that I never felt like I was going to try to hold back laughing so hard, was when Dave brought up Paul Macbeth looking like a jockey. And, like, it just
He
hit me like
does.
I wasn't ready for it. I wasn't ready for it. And I'll accept that. I could see the look
How is
that
that
you're trying to
funny?
describe, but I wasn't ready for it, Dave.
Just like a jockey. Oh my god.
He does. I'm
Uh,
telling you.
Paul Macbeth, our
Got the
five-time.
build, skills.
You know, the Pro Tour made this like Instagram post of disc golfers and their doppelgangers, and I was like, "Where's the jockey? Where's
Where's the jockey? Unreal. Well, it's been a great 20 episodes. I'm looking
Oh.
forward to at least 20 more.
Me too.
Dave, let's see this disc.
Let's
I've been
flip
waiting
the disc, Dave.
weeks.
Just in case anybody forgot, we're giving this away to one of our YouTube subscribers after we reach 500. We're only about 100 away, so if you haven't done so already, click that subscribe button.
Do it, Dave. Do it.
Listeners, if you are interested in this disc, head over to our YouTube page. You don't have to watch, just click that subscribe button. There's just no easy way to do it for our audio listeners. So you can watch if you want, of course, but anyway. Dun, da, 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 da. Oh.
Wow. To all our audio listeners, it's a blank disc.
No, it is not.
Got him.
Joanna, describe that thing. What am I looking at here? That is awesome.
I don't
So
even
much
know how
color.
to describe it. It's an eye with a beautiful. I mean, just vibrant colors, amazing wings. Do we know who did the artwork?
Yes, but my hand's in the way.
Oh,
That's really
Yeah.
well,
awesome.
Actually,
anywho,
no,
we can
it's
put it
a-
in the description.
It's got a
But-
Kale LaVisca stamp on the bottom. I don't know what that means.
I don't know, but
Okay, this is the back. If
amazing.
any of
So
this
this is our
information makes
disc.
sense to you, then it doesn't to me.
Alrighty.
But anyway, so yeah, this is the disc we're giving away. 500 subscribers. Thank you all for watching and listening. We will be back next week as always. And until then, we'll see you next time.